Swami Bhakti Saraswati Swami Maharaja ki Anant Chakravarti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Namacharya Shri Harindas Thakur ki Praise Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur ki Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki Shri Vrindavan Dham ki Navadvip Mayapur Dham ki Ganga Maya ki Yamuna Maya ki Bhakti Devi ki Tulsi Devi ki Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Kartaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Samaveda Bhakti Vrindi ki Nitai Gaur Premanande Christus of Christus of Christus of praise of Christus Hare Krishna devotees. We'll recite in English the Guru Vandana prayers. I'll be right back. Maharaja.
The lotus feet of the you and my dark eyes, closely heart. Use the
His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna devotees. I'd like to welcome in our Zoom audience today for our Saturday morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. Thank you to all the devotees for being here in the temple. We also like to welcome anybody that's joining from outside of our community that have tuned in to hear Bhakti Vasudeva Swami. Thank you for coming. I heard that there was some concerns about the sound quality. So the sound quality will improve. We were doing the kirtan, so we were just showing the kirtan, and the camera was a little bit distant. But now that the class is going on, there'll be a microphone connected directly to Maharaj. So class will go on till about 8:45. At that time, it's our breakfast here in the temple. And very grateful to have Bhakti Vasudeva Swami Maharaj come and visit us. He'll be here also tomorrow for the Sunday Feast lecture. Maharaj is a disciple. He took initiation from His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami, and he took his sannyasa initiation from His Holiness Jayapataka Swami. Maharaj has a Ph.D. In management and decision-making sciences, and his preaching work is really to encourage the professional communities in the techniques of Bhakti Yoga and the Vedic teachings. He's over 35 publications, professional publications, and travels to various conferences, making presentations and connecting with those communities. Maharaj, thank you so much. So just so you know, we have a group one Zoom that'll be there, and then we have some devotees here. What we typically do is just for the verse recitation, we'll do the call and response for the devotees in the temple room. But those that are online, they can do call and response, but they'll be At the end, we'll open it up for questions, and also the people online have to ask questions. That's good.
Hare Krishna Zoom devotees, just a reminder that today we will only listening to the class, no call and response today.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari
Yasudhanandana Brajajana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana
Yasudhanandana Brajajana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana
Yasudhanandana Brajajana Ranjana
Yashodanandana
Jamuna Tera Vanachari Jamuna Tera Vanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gariba, Hariba, Hariba, Hariba. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Acharya Astotasatasi Siman Divine Grace is Kampanacharya Chira Abhacharan Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Acharya Astotasatasi Siman Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavin Ki Jai Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Si Kahau Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Sri Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Jai Sri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Shyamakund Radha Kund Girigavardhan Ki Jai Sri Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Jai Sri Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Jai Sri Jagannathpuri Dham Ki Jai Ganga Maya Munamaya Ki Jai Samatito Siddhi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveda Bhakta Bina Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Our glory is to the Samma devotees, our glory is to the Samma devotees, our glory is to the Samma devotees. Our glory is all glories to Sister Gaurang Gaurang. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya. Naram Cheva Narottam. Devim Saraswati Vyatsa. Tatto Jaya Mudirayet. Nasta Paye Svabhadresu. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Sloke. Bhakti Bhavaiti Naisiki. So Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 6, Text 17. Title of the chapter is Purusha Sukta Kumpha. Swadhisnyam pratapan prano. Bahicha pratapatyaso. Evam virajam pratampam. Tapyanta bahi tapatyanta bahi puman. Swadhisnyam pratapan prano. Bahischa pratapatyaso. Evam virajam pratapams. Tapyanta bahi puman. Swadhisnyam pratapan prano. Bahischa pratapatyaso. Evam virajam pratapams. Tapatyanta bahi puman. That's one, right?
Swadhishnayam Pratapam Prano Bahishcha Pratapatyasho Evam Virajam Pratampam Tapadyantar Vajipumam
Swadhisyam Katapandrano Pam Patyaso
Bahishcha Pratapatyasho Evam Virajam Pratapam Tapadyantar Vajipumam
Mataji's. Swadhisnyam Patapam Prano Rahita Patapyatashu Evam Virajam Pratapam Tapantyanta Bahi. Okay, word for word. Want to try? Word for word translation. Then translation and purport by His Divine Grace, His Confined Acharya, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thank you. Swadhisnyam, radiation. Pratapam, by expansion. Pranaha, living energy. Bahi, external. Cha, also. Pratapati, illuminate. Asa, the sun. Evam, in the same way. Virajam, the universal form. Pratapam, by expansion of. Tapati, enlivens. Antaha, eternally. Bahi, externally. Umam, the Supreme Personality. So, translation. The sun illuminates both internally and externally by expanding its radiation. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by expanding its universal form, maintains everything in the creation, both internally and externally. Please kindly respond. The sun illuminates both internally and externally.
The sun illuminates both internally and externally.
By expanding its radiation. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by expanding its universal form, maintains everything in the creation, both internally and externally. Purport: the universal form of the Lord, or the impersonal feature of the Lord, known as Brahmajyoti, is clearly explained here and compared to the radiation of the sun. The sunshine may expand all over the universe, but the source of the sunshine, namely the sun planet or the deity known as Surya, Ryan, is the basis of such radiation. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, is the basis of the impersonal Brahmajyoti radiation, or the impersonal feature of the Lord. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 14:27. So, the universal form of the Lord is the secondary imagination of the impersonal form of the Lord. But the primary form of the Lord is Shyamasundara, with two hands playing on his eternal flute. Krishna is a flutist. 75% of the expansive radiation of this of the Lord is manifested in the spiritual sky. Tripan Vibhuti. And 25% of his personal radiation comprehends the entire expansion of the material universes. This is also confirmed and stated in the Bhagavad Gita 10:42. Thus, the 75% expansion of his radiation is called his internal energy, whereas the 25% expansion is called the external energy of the Lord. The living entities who are residents of the spiritual as well as the material expansions are his marginal energy, the Tatastha Shakti. And they are at liberty to live in either of the energies, external or internal. Those residents of the external expansion are called the conditioned souls. We can just make an estimate of the number of the residents of the internal expansions in comparison with the number of residents in the external expansions, in the external energy, and may easily conclude that the liberated souls are far more numerous than the conditioned souls. Homagena to Miranasa, Genajana Salakaya, Saksur Malita, Yen Tasmai. See Gorapi. Sujayatayam Anobistam, Stafetam, Yenabutari, Swayam Rupam, Kadamaya, Dadatiswa, Padantika. Vandisi Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda Sahodata, Gurudaya Puspavantu, Chita Chantaman. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Si Advaita, Gudara, Sivasari, Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi. Gaura Bhani Pacharine, Nirvisesa Sonya Badi, Patsatya Disatari, Pancha Kalpatari Decha, Vipassana Devacha, Titanam, Washington, Monam. So, in the Bhagavatam, this same Bhagavatam, Srila Vyasadeva delineates the three stages of realizing the absolute. He said, Brahmeti, Paramatmati, Bhagavaniti, subject. Vedanta Tattva Vedas. That the Supreme can be realized in different phases. Purport here is mentioned about how the radiation from the Lord, we all, even the conditioned souls, they have radiation, effulgence. So when people become very pure, and then another pure soul can also see their radiation, can see their effulgence. So the Lord radiates spiritual energy that permeates the whole of the spiritual sky and also the material sky. So in his purport mentions, specifically, he gives, specific information about the statistics of this expansion. Mentioned about the spiritual, in the spiritual sky, 75%. The radiation coming from Krishna's body permeates the spiritual sky. And so we can just imagine that spiritual sky is just so vast. Of course, it doesn't take any intelligent person to appreciate this, because the material world is like a prison. So traditionally, prisons are not bigger than the city. Prison is just a small confinement within the city. And therefore, if we understand, if we approach it from that angle, we can easily appreciate how spiritual world is so expansive, so huge. And these very effulgence of the Lord, the Brahma Jyoti, it's amazing that, this is what the impersonalists are really looking for. The impersonalists, they have to study so hard, and they're very, very scholarly. And therefore, our acharyas, even Prabhupada, repeatedly warn us, don't associate with Mayavadis. Why? Because they're so scholarly, they can confuse you. Yeah. I remember one brahmachari in Mayapur, he was a Mayavadi Swami. He told me his story. He's passed away. I met him when he was like 80-something years old in Mayapur. So, you know him? Okay. So he's a very huge guy, So he told me his story, how he was a Mayavadi sannyasi. And then Swami, and then he met Prabhupada. So he challenged Prabhupada. He challenged Prabhupada, and Prabhupada defeated him woefully. So he became a devotee. He became Prabhupada's follower. He was a brahmachari in Mayapur until he left his body, 80-something years old when he left. So the Mayavadis, they are also intoxicated with knowledge. But then the whole thing is, and they're very austere. Yes, just too austere. And with austerity, they also, Krishna blessed them with so much of transcendental information culture. So, yeah, if you meet somebody who can just, throw words here and there, one could be confused when they'll be thinking, oh, maybe Prabhupada didn't mention all this in his teachings, right? But it's Mayavadi philosophy, and it's so dangerous for the Vaishnavas. And our acharyas always repeatedly have mentioned, even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he mentioned, now we should avoid these impersonalists. Lord Chaitanya encountered the impersonalists, and then their leader, he could perceive Lord Chaitanya's effulgence, the radiation coming from Lord Chaitanya's body, and he identified that, he's not an ordinary human being. So, Krishna radiates his effulgence, practically it permeates, the effulgence of Krishna permeates the whole of the spiritual sky and the material sky. But comparatively, material sky is just 25%. And the distinction is made here about the Bahiranga Shakti, Tatastha Shakti. Bahiranga Shakti is external energy. Antaranga Shakti is internal energy. I know what the spiritual energy. So the Bahiranga Shakti is what we are dealing with in every day of our lives. And this Bahiranga Shakti is just 25%. The bigger aspect of creation, or bigger aspect of Krishna's energy is there in the spiritual sky. And so we can imagine how gigantic this universe is. And then even this universe, according to Lord Brahma, when he was Pipalada is one of Brahma's sons. And so one time, Pipalada went to visit his father. And when he went to visit his father, Brahma, he saw Brahma chanting on Mala. So he was wondering, come on. We thought he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he asked Lord Brahma. I mean, it's like, he asked, what is going on? I see you chanting Mala. Who is the object of worship? We thought you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Lord Brahma explained that, yeah, I'm the Supreme Lord of this universe. But this universe is so small compared to other universes. And there are different Lord Brahmas who are overseeing the other universes. I have 4 heads because this universe is just made of 4 directions: north, east, west, south. So, and then he went on to explain to people like that There are many universities, and in each and every of these universities is presided over by a Lord Brahma. So many universities are there in the material realm. Our university is JAIC, one of the smallest, if not the smallest, because our Brahma has 4 heads. There are universities that, I remember also the case when Brahma went to visit Lord Krishna in Dwarka, and then, when the message went to go to Krishna, Krishna asked that, which of the Lord Brahmas? And so the messenger came back to ask that, which of the Lord Brahmas? And then Lord Brahma was bewildered. He said, come on. Are there some other Lord Brahmas? I thought I was the only one. So Krishna came and someone, Lord Brahmas of different universities, some people, some of them came with, thousands of heads, millions of heads, they've fallen down, paying obeisance to Lord Krishna. So this is just the universe. There are plethora of, Lord Brahmas, plethora of universes. And so if we think about that, we see how small we fit into the whole scheme of material affairs. Where Prabhupada describes the living entity as infinitesimal, so minuscule, so small, that we don't fit. In fact, we don't fit in anywhere. If you put it on the dot of the universe, we cannot be even seen. So that's a good thing for us, so that it makes us to be humble. So this effulgence is what this radiation of Lord Krishna is what in the spiritual sky is what the impersonal is they are aspiring for. But according to Lord Brahma, he said that those who are aspiring to merge into the impersonal Brahma Jyoti, they have actually lost their intelligence. They are misguided. These are the words of the Brahma. He said they are misguided. And this impersonalists, they think that they are liberated. According to the Brahma, he said, this is just, an imagination. Someone can imagine that, they are very rich, but, they don't have sufficient money to buy gas for their car, if they do have a car. So, this is Lord Brahma. According to Lord Brahma, he said, this is, Vimukta Manina, liberation in mind. Someone may be thinking it's liberated. It's just wishful thinking. Lord Brahma said they are wishful thinkers. So, I bet, can you imagine? That is just the preliminary stage of God realization. Impersonal Jyoti. These hardcore transcendentalists, the impersonalists, who study so hard, who perform so much of austerities, that's where they are desiring to merge into. For them, Bhagavan is not there. The impersonal Brahman Jyoti, that is the ultimate. Can you imagine? See how knowledge could be so limiting to some people. So we're talking about the Brahman Jyoti. We're talking about the Super Soul. We're talking about Bhagavan realization. But it's not everyone who is exposed to this very ultimate reality. Even in the Vaishnava tradition, there are some traditions that they don't worship Radha. They worship Krishna, they worship Vishnu. But they are also considered Vaishnavas. But according to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, according to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one cannot have an ingress into Goloka except they worship Radha and Krishna. And so those who have the great opportunity of engaging in the worship of Radha and Krishna, they are very, very exceptional personalities. And therefore, we have to understand how to be able to cultivate this bhakti to ultimately attain that supreme, to realize the supreme absolute truth. Lord Brahma mentioned, Yenyi Ravidaksha Vimukta Manin, that those who are aspiring to merge into the Brahma Jyoti, they think that merging into the Brahma Jyoti, they are liberated. But he said, this is Vimukta Manin, wishful thinking. Mind is making them feel that that is the attainment. They are liberated. But no. Why did Brahma say that? He said, Patantya do, they'll fall back. When they stay there, at some point in time, they'll have to fall back again to this material world and engage in philanthropic activities. You see, most of these rich people, riches doesn't just come by fun. They have engaged in so much of austerities and pious activities in their past life, and attained some higher planets, and then again, the piety is finished, credit is finished. I mean, like, you go to the bank, you put in money, and you start withdrawing. At some point in time, your credit is gone, no money again. So you have to build up. So then, either the mention of the Brahma Jyoti, at some point in time, they don't feel comfortable because there is eternity, but people want association. Association, sociability is the pivot of the living entity. Also, the living entity likes to travel. You know, Brahmanda, Brahmite, Kunya, Bhagwan. Travel from one Brahmanda to the other. That's why a number of people, they like to travel, you know. Yeah, my dharma is to travel around, but I hated travels. So for traveling is, for me, is a big austerity. But, you know, I mean, it's like, I was speaking with one older Swami, and then that time I was speaking about, you know, the concept of begging. I said, I hated begging. And then he said, but this is your dharma. This is what you have to do for the rest of your life, to be begging. So you better adjust yourself. Humble yourself and then be begging. So travels, that is one of the intrinsic natures of the soul. The spirit soul is always moving from one realm of existence to the other. After one body, it goes to another body, may go to the heavenly planets, may go to Patala Loka. But this just, the spirit soul is used to moving around. And that is why a number of people on the planet also, they value traveling. They like to travel. You know, tourists, you see people who have so much money and then they just travel around the whole world. And it's a pride. Well, I've traveled all over the world. I went to this place, I went to this place. What did you go to do? What was your mission? Mission statement. Goal achieved. But what is the ultimate goal of human life? Where are you pursuing that goal? Traveling around the whole world? No. So, this very purport is basically giving us some information about how we can really stabilize our spiritual culture and pursue the ultimate. Because according to Prabhupada, when we live in this material world, which is Bhairanga Shakti, we are conditioned. We are conditioned souls, according to the purport. We are, as Prabhupada said, we are conditioned souls. The people who, the living entities who live in the spiritual realm, they are eternally liberated souls. They are Nitya Siddhas. We are Nitya Bhadas, eternally conditioned. So that we have a different category. And for a Nitya Bhada to become extricated from the bondage of the effects, the negative impacts of the lower modes of nature, negative impacts of the illusory energy we need to take shelter of Radha and Krishna. And Radha and Krishna, they're already here. And you don't need to work so hard. You don't need some rocket science to worship Radha and Krishna. No. What is the process for worshiping Radha and Krishna in this age? Yes. Chanting. Chanting what? Yeah. And it's not a difficult thing. It's not a difficult thing. You have the pre-requirements. You have the tools. You just need a buccal cavity. You need a mouth and tongue to vibrate the holy names. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And so, we have to take advantage of what we've been provided. Prabhupada has given us so many literatures. His lectures are there, voice. His lectures are also there, video. His books are there. So we can't complain. The Prabhupada he left the planet, but he left tools behind for us to use. I mean, it's like somebody crosses a river and the boat is still on this other side, so that those who want to cross can always board that boat and cross. That's exactly what Prabhupada did. He left the boat behind for us to use in crossing. And the favorable winds are there, which are these books. The association with devotees. And that is so important. Why is that so important? Because we become who we associate with. There's a common slogan: show me your associates and I will tell you who you are. Yeah. That's it's called the field theory. In 1938, one German psychologist developed this theory called the field. Field theory stipulates that the environment has an impact on us. Where you go to, the gross example is, okay, if you go into the cold, say you put on 5 thick jackets and then you go into the cold room. If you stay there for some time, you will have the cold penetrate onto your skin, despite your 4 or 5 jackets. So the environment is it has a powerful impact on human behavior. It has a powerful impact on our values. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said we should be careful about whom we associate, because that will impact on our spiritual values. So then it's something like the question we asked the other day. We go out there, we're walking, schooling, whatever. How do we deal with this association principle? Yeah. We can give association and not take association. So it's a mental process. You can't avoid dealing with people, except you want to go and run into the forest. But it's not recommended to run into the forest in Kali Yuga. Yeah. So we have gotten this very great opportunity to purify ourselves. That we should not be selfish. We should not just try to save our own necks. And therefore, we have to utilize whatever we have at our disposal to help in redirecting a misdirected civilization. And those who pioneer or those who champion this cause, those who go out helping to spread the message of Lord Krishna. Krishna mentioned in the Gita, there couldn't be anybody more dear to him that person. So we want Krishna, we want to be dear to Krishna. He's giving us the strategy how to become dear to him. If you know a way to be dear to somebody and you want to be dear to them, then you just follow that system. And you could be lovers. And so spiritual life is something that we can always expand. Yeah, there's no limit. There's no limit to our purity. And therefore it is important that we have the proper association, and so that we don't allow the Bhairanga Shakti to engulf us. We are Tatastha Shakti. We can be on the part of spiritual culture, or we can be on the part of materialistic culture. We can just decide not to follow any rules, or we can be determined to follow the sastric injunctions, to follow the principles of bhakti. And when we do follow the principles of bhakti, our status as Tatastha Shakti will be enhanced to be able to attain the ultimate goal of life, which is Krishna, Prema, Pumatoma, pure love for Krishna. Our situation is very dicey, very, very risky. It's Tatastha. Yeah. We can fall on this side or fall on this side. But if we take shelter of proper association of the devotees, we take our programs to heart, and we're doing our sadhana and chanting. We're helping to distribute the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Prabhu to all and sundry. Krishna will give us protection. Even at Tatastha Shakti, Krishna will enable us to become, to come be under the shelter of the Antaranga Shakti. Yes, any comments or questions?
We mentioned about spiritual world and material world, and you also mentioned multiple universes. So those multiple universes is in one material world or many material?
Material world is just one material world with many universes. There's material world, there is spiritual world. Material world is very, very vast because there are so many universes in the material world. We only think about our universe. Yeah, but there are many, many universes.
Brahma Jyoti is in spiritual world?
And Brahma Jyoti is in the spiritual sky. But the Krishna's radiation also permeates the whole of the cosmic manifestation. But when you have to merge, when impersonalities have to merge, they merge into the spiritual world, the Brahma Jyoti of the Lord. Brahma Jyoti is like the effulgence of the Lord. So they prefer to merge into that. But that's what they know as the ultimate goal of spiritual perfection. So you can't really blame them. I mean, it's like, you're in a university or in a college, you know, you have to graduate. Maybe if you're lucky, somebody will tell you about going to graduate school. But otherwise, the whole idea is, you know, work hard to be able to graduate. Then you go to work, get a job. Yeah. So if you are not exposed to the idea of, you know, graduate school, or you don't make a mark to go to graduate school, your grades are not sufficient to go to graduate, you don't merit going to graduate school, then there's nothing you can do. There could be something you can do by doing some, you know, or engaging in some other projects to be able to enhance your grades. So in our condition also, we can always do something to enhance our spiritual quality. And that's what Prabhupada essentially has provided for us, this devotional service. Serve the devotees, serve the deities, render some service, and do our sadhana. When we have opportunities, we should think of also going for pilgrimage. Because pilgrimage is also so important. I know of some people, I don't want to mention names, but I know of some devotees, you know, they travel a lot, but they've never been to Mayapur. They've never been to Vrindavan. Yes. They can go to Disney Island. But yeah, but we should also think about pilgrimage because it's part of the process of becoming purified. Yeah. 5 more minutes. So if you have any comments or questions, feel free to ask. Yes.
Maharaj, in the process of reincarnation, can the soul be reincarnated into another universe?
Of course, yes. This said, Brahmanda Brahmite, Konya, Bhagavan Jiva. We move from one Brahmanda to the other, from one universe to the other, one planet to the other. Yeah. In material world, soul can incarnate, can take bodies and be catapulted to any universe. It's arrangement by chief of staff. Yeah. Yes, Mataji. Brahma Jyoti, the living entity is individual. Yeah. Individuality is there. But then they merge into the Brahma Jyoti thinking that they will just merge. But still, the spirit soul, 1/10,000, the tip of the air, is still distant. Like you see the rays of the sun, there are particles of the rays in that sun that they constitute the whole permeation. But each and every ray of the sun is still distant. Yes, to answer your question, yes, it's still but you know, the traditional mentality of the impersonal is that they think they are merging there until they become one with God, become God. But no, there's nothing like that. You're still distant. And then you get fed up. There's no socialization, no association, no hangouts and all this, and you're just there. You're internal, but people are not satisfied with just being by themselves, alone. If even you're Bill Gates, who is the richest person on the planet now?
Maybe Elon Musk.
Elon, okay. Even you're Musk, you need association. So this is the problem with merging into the Brahman Jyoti. They get tired sometimes, and they want to seek for activities. There's no activities in the Brahman Jyoti. The living entity is by nature, active. I mean, it's like a cell phone. You put in the SIM card to activate it. So when you put in the SIM card, there's activity on the phone. So, but then when you remove the SIM card, the phone is just there. Yeah, it might be very fanciful, but there's no activity. So, living entity by nature want to engage in activities. And that is why when this physical body is even at rest, sleeping, so-called sleeping, the spirit soul is actively involved, moving around, engaging in activities by using the subtle body, facilitated by the mind, intelligence, and the ego. So, we can't say that I just want to be in Mona. No talking, no association. Mind is still busy. Yes, so back to your question here. Distant. Any last comment?
Let me see if anybody online.
Okay.
Hare Krishna devotees that are joining us on Zoom, if you have a question, you can ask Maharaj. Anyone online?
There's a question in the chat box. Can I read it to you, Maharaj?
Yes.
Maharaj, I'm having question. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that worship of personal form is easy than impersonal form. So why do people run towards worshipping Krishna's impersonal form?
That's a very nice question. That's a very nice question.
People run to worship the impersonal feature of the Lord because in some cases they don't know that that is the personal form of the Lord is the ultimate. So ignorance can cause a lot of problems, but ignorance is not an excuse. When you do the wrong thing based on ignorance, you still get some, results based on what you did, what you performed. So yeah, essentially people worship the impersonal form because they think that by worshiping the impersonal form, they are liberated. People want to be liberated. They're tired of suffering, but then they're choosing a wrong path in the search for liberation. Therefore, Lord Brahma mentioned in this Bhagavatam, Lord Brahma mentioned that these people who are impersonalists, they think that they are liberated because they merge into the Brahman effulgence. Lord Brahma describes them as the Muktamanina. This is liberation in mind or only. This is wishful thinking. They're wishful thinkers. And so the fundamental idea is that in most cases, people don't know the ultimate self-realization. I mean, it's like a child goes to kindergarten. You don't start going to school by going to college or going to graduate school. The child is taken to kindergarten. The child may think that kindergarten, that is a be-all and end-all of schooling. Oh yeah, ignorance. One of the major reasons is ignorance. Yeah. And a number of people, I've seen this a lot in India. India is full of spiritualists. But you go even to these Kumbh Mela, big festivals, a majority of them are impersonalists. They may engage in Panchapachaka, worshiping 5 different types of devatas. But, for them, everything is the same. So they don't have, most of these people, they don't have an understanding that Krishna's 2 Bhagavan Swayam. So we owe an obligation to try to enlighten people because in India it's so common. I remember someone was telling me about her mother. The father took to chanting. She said her mom is hardcore impersonalist. She cannot be changed. No. So there are some people like that. Ignorance is there so much submerged in it. They be convinced beyond all reasonable doubt. If someone is convinced about any subject matter beyond all reasonable doubt, they are undaunted. You can't shake them. This life, no. So there are people like that. But we don't despise them. We don't, put them behind or sweep them under the carpet. We understand their status, their level, their endeavor on the part of transcendence, but unfortunately, they're not exposed to this Bhagavan realization. Some do, ultimately, look at the impersonalists that Lord Chaitanya encountered. Even Brahma Bhattacharya, they achieved. He became, a great devotee. He praised Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He described Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the incarnation who has come to teach his own bhakti yoga, Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga. These are the words of Sabha Brahma. But SABHA, who was he? He was an impersonalist before. Yes, so we have a big obligation to help leverage society spiritually. So yeah, bottom line, ignorance makes people to think, or makes people to run to the to worship the impersonal aspect of the Lord. Yes, I think this time is we are already 5 minutes beyond schedule. All right, we have to join this class now. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glory to the Son of devotees.
Thank you to the devotees that tuned in on Zoom. I'd like to invite you all to come to the Sunday feast tomorrow, starting at 4:30. Maharaja will be speaking on the Bhagavad Gita. Hope you have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna.